Welcome back. The PIC inquiry turned into a battlefield during UDM leader Bantu Holomisa's cross-examination by the Lebashe Investment Group's legal team. Holomisa is accusing the company of having dodgy deals with the PIC. eNCA's Heidi Giokos is following the inquiry. She joins us now from the newsroom. So, Heidi, Holomisa cross-examined today, a battle of wits it seemed, both legal teams trying to have their say. How did it go?
Exactly, Sean. So it really was a battle of wits between Lebashe's legal team as well as Bantu Holomisa's legal team. And the first hour, if I could say, of the inquiry today was basically arguments about the access to certain documents. These documents being Lebashe's directors as well as Harroth's directors' statements when they are set to testify. And Holomisa basically saying that he wants access to those documents and it should not be withheld from him if Lebashe's legal team is going to be using that information and those documents to cross-examine him. And it was literally a back and forth between the two legal teams about when the documents should be made available. Eventually, Judge Lex Mpati, who is the commissioner of the PIC inquiry, gave a ruling that documents will be made available as and when they are given to the PIC inquiry, and they will not be withheld from Bantu Holomisa or Lebashe in this instance. And it was really a backing and forthing between the two. Temperatures were rising, I must say, between Lebashe's attorney, Daniel Berger, as well as Holomisa, basically saying that, you know, we need a situation where the temperature needs to drop. Let's just listen to what they had to say about that.
Facts did you have when you testified before this commission that there's something improper?
I'm more interested in knowing as to how much was paid in these transactions, which board decided to take or relegate or delegate the work of HFM to the other institution, which is what do you call it, HGP. Where are the minutes which would corroborate that decision?
You're also aware that Mr. Moleketi received no remuneration from Harroth FM, or from the PIC for that matter, whilst he was the chairman of the PIC and then chair of Harroth FM.
I don't have those facts. That should be verified by the commission.
Okay, you can't dispute that.
I don't have those facts. That's your version. Own it.
I beg your pardon?
Own your version.
Mr. Holomisa, I'm going to ask you, please, just answer my questions.
I've answered your question.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's keep the tone and the temperature down, if you would.
You seem to want to tell us whose temperatures is low and high. Can we also do the same?
Yes.
Well, then I will do so.
It really was heated. Keep your tone and temperature down, he says. So what is Holomisa actually arguing? He keeps saying there's a conflict of interest.
Yes, Sean, so you must remember that Bantu Holomisa had testified a couple of weeks ago at the PIC inquiry, and he posed a number of questions to the PIC inquiry about a number of companies and implicated a number of companies such as Lebashe and Harroth. And he claims that there is a conflict of interest as far as Lebashe's directors and Harroth directors are concerned, given the fact that one of its directors is the Deputy former Finance Minister, Jabu Moleketi, because he was also the chairperson at the time that the PIC had invested into these two companies. And Bantu Holomisa constantly saying that questions need to be asked about why these two directors had previously worked at the PIC as well as being the chairperson of the PIC board, and later on moved in to be directors of these companies. Let's just listen to what he had to say about that.
Chairperson, this is where you begin to trace this issue of conflict of interest. Here is a former deputy minister who was chairing PIC. In 2007, he was still active, and he started this company. Why did he do that while he was still the minister? This information must be investigated, my friend. You are not going to have a shortcut here. I'm sorry for you. We are going to go deep and get to the bottom of the truth.
All right, so after Holomisa's cross-examination, another witness testified. What was revealed there?
Exactly. So it was Seko Mahlole who testified and took the stand, and he is one of the individuals that have actually been implicated by Bantu Holomisa because of his involvement and direct involvement with Lebashe and Harith, being a chairman as well as a CEO of these two companies. He didn't reveal much as yet because he just started with his testimony because of how long the cross-examination of Bantu Holomisa took. But he was just explaining when he decided to leave the PIC because he started a fund that was instituted by the PIC to invest in infrastructure on the African continent. And his testimony is going to be key in explaining why he left the PIC and how he got involved with Lebashe and Harith, which Bantu Holomisa is claiming was a very dodgy investment, and him being at the PIC at the time and then deciding to move off and start Harith and Lebashe needs to be investigated. So it will be interesting to hear what he has to say tomorrow about those developments and why he decided to leave the PIC and start off these companies that have really developed over the years, which Bantu Holomisa is saying that really needs to be investigated given the fact of its success and how the PIC had boosted that investment in these two companies.
All right, thanks for that. Appreciate it. Heidi Giokos following the PIC inquiry.